So it's time for my August favorites, and I'm gonna try to keep it super speedy because I have some stuff that I need to do for Venture Camp. If you haven't heard of that, I'll link it up below. It's coming really soon. This first session is going to be free, and it's basically an online program that's designed to help you reconnect to your inner adventure and your creativity and inspiration. I'd love to see you there. So check that out below. So I'm gonna be super speedy and not ramble on and on the way I have in some of these videos in the past. So my first favorite thing from last month is my new spice rack. And if you want to hear me talk about all the reasons why it's awesome and how I got it and all that kind of stuff, just click here. And it'll take you to my last vlog where I talk about all the stuff that I put up on my new wall here, but this is my favorite bit. My next favorite thing is my locally made traveler's notebook. This is by Little Mountain Bindery, I believe, and they called their version a Fillion. Now, I've had a traveler's notebook for about a year. I got the cheapest one I could find on Amazon, and it was fine at first, but then the dye started rubbing off onto things. Like, I left it sitting on a pile of papers, maybe in the sun, it was somewhere in my office, and when I picked it up, I don't know how long it had been there, but when I picked it up, there was red on the paper, and it was fine. It wasn't anything that was ruined, but it's not exactly something you want to take traveling with you, which is the idea of a traveler's notebook, if the ink or dye or whatever they use to put on it is not sealed properly and it's gonna rub off everywhere. So then I was looking at all my options, and I found out that a local book bindery actually makes traveler's notebooks, and so I decided to get one of theirs because they look really cool. So this charm I've had for a while. So I added that myself. It's a Hobbit charm from an Etsy shop, which I'll also link below. But you can look, it's very similar to the Midori style, but it has little, let's see, it has little X's here on the sides, which mean that on the inside it has 2 elastic straps instead of 1. So I think it's easier to add more inserts, and then you can always use the loops. I'll give you a little peek. In the next month or so, I'm trying something new in here, and once I figure that out, I'm gonna do a whole video of how I set up my Midori. But basically, like here, well, let me hold it where you can see it. This first book is on adventure, and I have some quotes in here. I have the plans for adventure camp. Then, oops, that got a little bit rubbed. My reading log, which has printables from a shop I can't remember, but I'll link it below. They're really cute. Then I have, so that is all on that first string, and then I have a little connector. But anyway, I'll show you that in a different video. I'm getting distracted again. Here is just a little plastic pouch. Then I have just some random notes, 2016. And then these are like from some of the books I've read and stuff. So that's kind of how I have it set up right now. This is part of this. But what came with the book, the Fillion, was the leather cover. They had, I think, 2 inserts came with it. They weren't these. I already had these inserts, so I just moved them in. And then you can pick what color you want the elastic to be. So I picked green. And mine came with a little free charm of a key, which was really cute. And if I didn't already have this, I definitely would have put that on the front. So I'm really loving this. It feels like it holds more than my other one. They also have a really cool, I was so tempted because they have one that flaps over again, which especially if you fill it full, because mine's kind of, it tends to be large, it can kind of cover everything in. But then I was thinking when I was traveling, that'll be like extra to take up room on the little airplane table and stuff. We're planning a trip to the UK, and I'm hoping to bring this with me and use it on the go. Because as of yet, I've more used it at home, and I want to start taking it on more adventures, both locally and abroad. Okay, okay, so my third favorite, I don't have in here because it isn't movable right now, but I'll put a picture. I found this printing press drawer. It's what they used to keep letters in when you used a printing press, at a really good deal at a local thrift shop called Cellar Door Antiques. And I'll also link them below. They have a really cool Instagram, which is how I found out that they had this in stock. And it's the perfect thing for all of these little treasures that I've collected on my travels. I have rocks from Greece and Brighton and Ireland, and they're all different. The Ireland ones are stripy, the Grecian ones are glittery, and the Brighton ones have, like, I have some that have a hole through the middle, which is supposed to be lucky. And then I have some coins, international coins, and different treasures like that that you don't really know how to display. So I've been having my eye on these printing press drawers, and I was super excited to get one. And right now I'm trying to redo the office wall so I can get somewhere to hang it. But for now it's just kind of propped in the guest room. So this. And then my fourth favorite, and then I've got to run because I have stuff that I need to get done, is cross stitching. I've been working on this Storytime sampler by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I'll link it below. We have Alice, Mary Lennox from Secret Garden. I'm working on Sherlock right now. Peter Pan I did first. And then here's a little peek at some more of the pattern. I started this either in the winter or in the, it has Anne of Green Gables on it. I started this back in winter. It might have been January or it might have been last year, I'm not sure. And then I was working on it for a while, and then I kind of got distracted doing some other things. But last month I really got back to it, and I finished like 1.5 of the little vignettes, and now I'm working on Sherlock. And these are really cute. You could also just do like somebody's favorite in a little single hoop, but this is gonna be like a whole bunch of different stories to hang on the wall. So I'll put a link to their Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery below. They have some really cute patterns. This was a style where if you signed up when it was new, you would get a different one each month. And they're totally doable to get done in that amount of time, but I kind of didn't know it existed till most of it had already come out. So I kind of got the whole pattern at once, which is a little overwhelming, but it's so cute and fun to work on. I admit that I have pulled out maybe more stitches than I have put in because I'm not the best counter. And these little lacy bits are a little complicated, but they have to line up just right. So yeah, I've learned, pro tip, amateur tip, to start with the person on the inside because it's easier to tell if I'm messing up because that's an actual image. Whereas if I'm doing the lace, I could be messed up till I've finished the whole thing and I don't know it. But anyway, this is really cool. I may do a separate video soon about my favorite cross stitch stuff, supplies and things. Because anyway, that's something that I'm really enjoying right now. So to summarize, favorite things from August, I keep trying to say July, were my spice rack, my Fillion notebook, handmade in Arkansas, my printing press drawer, and Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's cross stitch pattern. So those are my favorite things, and I'd love to hear what you've been enjoying lately. Leave a comment below. Also, if you haven't checked out Venture Camp, be sure to check that out. Next week, we're gonna be starting with some Instagram challenges, and then the whole thing kicks off on September the 19th. So I hope to see you there.